Hello and welcome to the last video for this online course for Excel. Here in this video, we are going to work again with data regarding companies, but now we are going to work with the number of companies referred to each region in Spain in year 2020. Okay, so here we have the regions and we have the data regarding the number of companies I have for each region, and at the end here we have the total number of companies. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to compute is the weight. Okay, what's the weight? Well, the weight is obtained by dividing the number of companies I have in one region, that is equal to this number that I have here for Madrid, that is 19,154, divided by the total number of companies that I have. Okay, and I will obtain a percentage because I have already used the format option for cells. I have it for a percentage. Okay, so what I can do now to avoid repeating this formula, okay, in all the cases, can drag down, but we see here that we have a problem. We are dividing by 0. Why? Okay, let's check here what we have. We have B6, that's right, that's the number of companies for Barcelona, divided by B59. But here B59 is empty. That's the reason I have this problem, okay, here. So what we need to do is to fix the denominator, because I'm going to divide each value by the same denominator, that is 63,456. So to fix this cell, I will use the dollar symbol, and I will need to fix both the column and the row. So I will introduce it twice, once for B and the other one for 58. Okay, I will obtain obviously the same result for Madrid, but now I'm going to drag down and let's see what we are going to obtain. We are going to obtain the weight for all the regions. So as you can see here, by just introducing the formula once and dragging down, once we have fixed the denominator, that is the total, we can obtain the weight for all the regions. Okay, so now let's see what I have prepared here. We have some text regarding the values that I'm going to calculate using the Excel file. And for the number of observations, I will click on insert function, and here we will type count. Okay, so I will choose the first option. I will insert the function, and here I'm going to start with Madrid, and instead of dragging down, I can also introduce the first and the last value that I'm going to consider, that is from B5 to B56. Click on done, and here I have all the values that I have in this sample. Okay, I have 52 values. Okay, so now let's see another function that is quite interesting, that is count if. Okay, so COUNTIF is similar, but here what we are going to do is to introduce a condition. Okay, so first of all, the range. Okay, we will start with C5. Okay, and we will finish with C56. Okay, once I have the range, now I need to introduce the condition. That's the criteria, and I will say that this will be greater or equal than 1%. I click on done, and here I obtain 20 regions with a weight greater or equal than 1%. I will be more precise here. I will type or equal, okay, than 1%. So as you can see here, we are considering all the regions that are starting with Cantabria, and we keep on ascending. I will finish with Madrid. Okay, so let's see some other functionalities here. Now we will compute the maximum value. So here I will type max. Okay, and I will choose this option, I will insert the function. Now I'm going to the total number of companies, okay? And here it is, okay, the range I'm working with. I click on done, and the maximum is 19,154. That corresponds to Madrid. But I can also compute the minimum, right? I will type minimum, I will choose this function, and again, I will need to introduce the range. Okay, so it will start with B5 and it will finish in B56. Okay, so the minimum here is 57. That corresponds to Melilla. Okay, so now that we have seen those functionalities, we will introduce some measures of central tendency. Okay, and the first one that we are going to work with is the mean. Okay, the mean is referred in this case to the arithmetic mean. The arithmetic mean is just doing the sum of all the values that I have here, okay, regarding number of companies for all the regions, and I will divide it by the total number of regions. So to compute the mean, I will here look for average. I have the average, I will insert the function, and again, I will need to introduce the range starting here with B5, and I will end with B56. Then click on done, okay? And here I know that the mean here is 1,220, okay? So after computing the mean, we will introduce the concept of the median, okay? And the median is just the middle value that we will obtain after sorting data in ascending or descending order. In this case, data is sorted in descending order. Okay, so let's look for the median here. Here it is. I will choose this function, and here I will introduce the range. Okay, so I will start with B5 and we'll finish with B56. Okay, so I click on done, and the median is 550. What does it mean? Well, that the median will be between 536 and 563, and it will split the distribution in two halves. Okay, so once we have seen the median, we will introduce another measure of central tendency, and that is the mode. The mode is the most commonly occurring value in my distribution. Okay, so I will look for the mode. Here it is. I will insert the function, and again I will define the range. I will start as I have done previously with B5, and I will end with B56, right? So here the mode is 606. So what does it mean? That, well, it seems like the numbers are not repeated, right? But if we pay some attention here, for Cádiz and Cantabria, 606 is repeated. The value appears twice, so that would be the mean. Suppose that in Cádiz, instead of having 606, we have 608. The mode is not available because I don't have even one value that is repeated, okay? So here I will go back and introduce real data, that is 606. And now suppose that here this value 833 repeated. Okay, what happens here with the mode? That it changes. Why? Because here what happens is that the reality is that I have two modes. Okay, because two values are repeated. Okay, so let's go back to original data. Okay, as you have seen, I changed the data. I will go back to original data and will obtain again the mode. There could be a case when there is no mode. Why? Because if I have I have values that are not repeated, there is no mode, and I could have more than one mode. Okay. So once we have seen measures of central tendency and and overall how to compute those methods. You, as I have previously mentioned, you will learn more with your statistics course, okay? Now let's go and compute the variance, okay? The variance is going to measure the dispersion, and the variance is obtained by dividing the sum operator of the square distances between each value and the mean I have previously computed, dividing it by the total number of values. But I can directly look for this here. Have several variances here. I will choose the variance with S for sample. I will introduce it, and again, I need to introduce the range I'm going to use here. Okay, this is from B5 to B56, and then I will obtain here the variance. Okay, I will change the format a bit. Okay, I will introduce the thousands separator. Okay, and here we have that the variance is almost 9 million. Okay, so remember what I have said, the variance is a squared value. In the end, what I'm going to do, I'm going to work with the standard deviation, okay? And the standard deviation is the squared root of the variance. So here, if I want to compute the standard deviation, I will use better standard deviation for the sample, okay? I will insert the function, and again, I will need to tell the range of values that I'm going to do. So here we already have the standard deviation, okay? I will use the brush to use the same format here, okay? And as you can see, this is the square root, okay? So I have obtained the value. Suppose that you are working with the height of the people, okay? And you use centimeters. For instance, 180 years, 83 centimeters, 192 centimeters, whatever. If you compute the variance, you will obtain a square centimeters, but the square centimeters is for a surface, okay? Then we need to compute the square root of the variance just to go back to centimeters without the squared value, okay? And in the end here, you could also say that this is the squared root, okay? You have it here of the variance, okay? You would obtain exactly the same number. I will copy the format, and you could also obtain it by doing the square root of the variance. So what of information we obtain with the variance and the standard deviation? Well, we obtain information about the dispersion, okay, regarding the data I'm working with. So the lower the standard deviation, the smaller the dispersion I'm working with, okay? So remember, the variance is a square value, the standard deviation is not a square value, okay? So here you have seen some more additional functions that we can work with Excel, but the most important point here is for you how to compute, how to introduce formulas, how to move around the related grid we have in Excel, and some basic options that you have here to work with this spreadsheet with Microsoft Excel, okay? And the more you work with those functionalities, the easier it will be for you to start working with data and using this tool for different purposes during your studies. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for your attention. Bye bye.